driving around my apiary and I get a good glimpse of the farm and how it's progressing, and I do a little bit of crop scouting. That's Adam's deal, but I like to see how the farm is moving ahead. And I have a lot of bee yards and pastures and such, so I'm seeing the whole picture of the farm as the year progresses. I just want to point out one thing I've been on about a lot lately is providing native forage, alternative forage for our honeybees throughout the year, other than the crops that the farmers grow. Our field crops are very specific when they flower, and we benefit greatly from them because it provides an abundance of resource for our hives. But we need more than that. We need flow and nourishment throughout the entire season. So one thing our farm has adopted is trying to, we identified all this pasture grass that we have growing for our cattle, and we figured, why don't we put the effort in trying to establish clovers within our grasses throughout the pastures, to try to not only benefit the soils and provide better nutrition for our cattle to graze on, but provides an abundance of feed for my hives, our hives. So I just want to show you an example of that here. I'm in one of my pastures right now, an established pasture, very well established, and you can see just a scattering. It's not overtaking, but just a scattering of white and yellow clover. And I don't know if you can see this, but there are honeybees actively working on them. And I'm looking through here, and there's a limitless native bees flying around. I can just see a whole diversity of different species of bee within this pasture right now. And the reason for that is because of the flowering growth within this field of grass. Grass itself doesn't sustain any life other than the cows that eat it. But by having a scattering of flowers throughout this pasture, it just has provided a resource for everything else around to thrive. As I go forwards here, as I'm putting more attention to this, and I don't know if you can see that, I'm just being swarmed by these little sweat bees. Very annoying, but very cool. And there's a horned, what do you call them, a horned bee. Very neat. Anyways, as I move forwards on this little project, I'm focusing, as we reestablish pastures throughout the farm, to maybe incorporate more than just clovers, like trefoils and other annuals and perennials that will provide nourishment for the soils, for the cattle, and for the bees. So it's a project worth paying attention to, and it's something I'm going to be promoting for the next little while, trying to provide more nourishment for everything else living within the areas that we can. I mean, just by putting simple little effort into establishing flowers within this pasture landscape, it's providing so much benefit to our cattle and to everything else around us trying to live. And I just wanted to point out the pure success on this.